No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, May 29th, 2024, coming off the Double or Nothing pay-per-view that was this past Sunday. Let's get to this recap. We had an eventful show. We kicked off Dynamite with a celebration of the new TBS champion, Mercedes Mone. Mercedes came to the ring. She talked about how her and Willow Nightingale tore the house down at Double or Nothing, but she had to point out that Willow was too nice. Mercedes said she knew Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway would screw her over. She hopes to see Willow come back and kick their asses. Basically, Mercedes giving her props to Willow Nightingale. Then she's talked about her next match. But before she could continue, we had Sky Blue appear on the big screen. And Sky Blue showed this footage of Mercedes being attacked a few weeks ago. Sky Blue took credit for the attack. And then she said she's just getting started. Sky Blue showed up in the ring, sneak attack on Mercedes, and left her laying. Now, it was announced that later on in the show, Mercedes Mone would defend her TBS championship against Sky Blue. So we were not wasting any time getting this match between these two. I was a little surprised. They did this angle where Mercedes got attacked. It was Sky Blue, and then they just have the match take place on Dynamite. But more on that in a few moments. It was a solid opening segment. We had footage shown of the Elite arriving along with Jack Perry in his scapegoat bus. I guess he drives that bus around everywhere. We had our first match of the evening, AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland versus Killswitch. Now, Killswitch dominated a good part of this match in the beginning. He choke slammed Swerve, but Swerve was able to kick out. Killswitch got a little bit frustrated, so he went outside, went for a steel chair. Prince Nana took the chair away. What a brave man. And then Swerve came off the apron with a stomp. He got Killswitch back in the ring, but then Killswitch blocked the house call. He choke slammed Swerve again, then delivered a standing moonsault, but there was a kick out again from Swerve. Swerve then German suplexed Killswitch, hit him with a house call, came off the top with the Swerve stomp. 1, 2, kick out. Killswitch kicked out of the Swerve stomp. Prince Nana was shocked, but then Swerve just hit another house call kick and got the 1, 2, 3 victory. So they made Killswitch look good in defeat. Swerve Strickland, still your world champion, moves on to Forbidden Door. This actually might have just been a non-title match or an eliminator match. I'm not even sure at this point, but Swerve Strickland won. He's not losing anyways on Dynamite against Killswitch. Shout out to Caleb Jacobs, who is a fan of Tony Khan, says, so happy for Mercedes. Yeah, I'm happy for her that she's the champ. She's doing well, and now she's finally getting in the ring and wrestling. I thought the promo was all right. Like, talking is not her strong suit, and I know some people don't like her dance moves, but she's got her fan base, and the bottom line is when she gets in the ring, she's able to deliver. Thank you for that, Caleb. And we had a Jon Moxley promo hyping up his IWGP Eliminator match against Rocky Romero. More on that in a few moments. We had TV time with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. There was a tree cut out in the ring. We had the Jeritron 5000 or whatever they're calling it now. And we had a grass carpet because Jericho's all about nature right now, or whatever his gimmick is. Jericho came to the ring. He was introduced by Big Bill, the Redwood, Big Willie, whatever you want to call him. And Jericho thanked all of his branches. And he brought out the man who walked into the shade of the learning tree, Brian Keith. Brian Keith vented about how there's been a lack of respect for Jericho. Crowd was chanting, "Shut the F up," and Jericho told them to watch their language. Hook then showed up. He wanted to fight. He beat up the security guards. Samoa Joe came out there, had some words with Hook, and then Hook just walked to the back with Joe. So I guess Joe's advice was to fight another day. Isn't that a heelish thing? I don't know. Anyways, later on, Joe was interviewed backstage, and he said that they do not exist on Jericho's time. So yeah, I guess they're just going to do things when it's best for them. Justin says Jericho's new gimmick has grown on him. I would like to say it has for me, but it hasn't. The Jericho doing the "hi guys" thing, like, it's maybe mildly entertaining, but the whole thing still reeks of desperation. Like he's just trying to stay relevant at this point. I don't know. I'm still not really feeling it. But maybe if he shoves it down our throats long enough, we'll all start to get into it, I suppose. So next up, we had Jon Moxley versus Rocky Romero, IWGP Eliminator match. I mean, no chance in hell Rocky Romero's winning this. He's like bottom tier on the totem pole. But it was a good match, technically. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it from a technical standpoint. I just don't care about these Eliminator matches, whether it's Takeshita on a pay-per-view or Rocky Romero on TV. Like, doesn't really make a difference to me if Moxley's defending this title or appearing on this show with the title. I just don't care personally. But like I said, match was fine. It was competitive. Moxley did eventually win with the Death Rider. Like his arm was bandaged up, and he was basically with one arm, and he did get the win. It was fine. And then we had Don Callis come to the ring for a promo. The crowd was booing him heavily, as they tend to do. He had a contract for Orange Cassidy to join the Don Callis family. Orange Cassidy came down there. He ended up taking the contract and ripping it up. He said no. Don Callis was pissed. He said nobody says no to him. And then Stokely Hathaway and Kris Statlander appeared on the big screen. And Statlander said that she has an announcement. Her best friend has accepted an invitation to join the Don Callis family. And it ended up being Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta attacked Orange Cassidy, hugged Don Callis. I do not care about this whatsoever. And it was kind of the scenario that I had mentioned last week when we were doing predictions. I said, well, maybe it's like the Lex Luger-Tatanka storyline from SummerSlam, and the other guy ends up joining the group. Like they were teasing Lex Luger would join, just like Orange Cassidy was teased for Don Callis, but then it was his opponent that joined the faction. And that's basically what happened here, just not nearly as intriguing. And that was 94 WWF. That was not particularly exciting. I do not care about Trent being in the Don Callis family. Like, I was ready to move on to something else with Orange Cassidy. Do not care about this. We had Mercedes Moné versus Sky Blue. Good match here with these two. Mercedes can definitely go in the ring. And it was a basic match, but it served its purpose of getting Mercedes on TV, having her wrestle, reestablishing her to the masses. Sky Blue got in some offense. It was a bit competitive. Mercedes was able, though, to counter the Code Blue, hit the Mone maker, and got the 1-2-3 victory. No big kickouts from finishing moves. Mercedes won. It was what it needed to be. And then after the match was over, we had Stephanie Vaquer from, I think, CMLL, and she's the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. I've never seen her wrestle before, but she is apparently going to be facing Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door. She held up her title. Mercedes held up her title. And it looks like that's the next match for Mercedes. I'm sure it'll be good, but don't really have much interest in it. I'm sure Mercedes will win. We had a backstage promo with Stokely Hathaway and Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander basically explaining why she turned against Willow Nightingale. She's sick and tired of being the protector. And now people are going to need protection from her. Promo was all right. I thought her delivery was fine. Stokely did a good job. This might have potential. We'll see. We had a video package for MJF hyping up his return, and he will officially be back on Dynamite next week, which I guess makes sense considering all the other stuff that was happening on this show. LA crowd at the Forum, Jeff pointed it out. Jeff in LA and a couple friends of mine were at the show in Los Angeles, Inglewood, at the Kia Forum. They were booing when it was announced MJF will be on for next week. I was a little bummed. Of course, the LA Forum, the Kia Forum, was where MJF did that promo, that legendary promo from 2 years ago when he called Tony Khan an effing mark, one of the all-time great Dynamite segments. Actually, I would say that is my all-time favorite Dynamite segment. And we didn't get MJF in the Forum, but he'll be back next week. I guess it makes sense. We had the Elite come into the ring for a promo to celebrate their victory and address Adam Copeland, who broke his leg at Double or Nothing. Copeland, of course, the TNT champion. We got some CM Punk chants. No surprise. And Okada was quick to respond, saying, "Shut up, bitches." Now, of course, the fans pop for this and start chanting Okada. What a bunch of marks. You're supposed to boo the guy as a heel. You're supposed to say, "No, you shut up." You say, "Shut the F up" at Okada. You don't cheer the guy. Come on, you marks. I feel like Virtue here. Jack Perry said the Elite run this shit. This guy's edgy. He said shit. And then the Bucks touted their Reebok shoes. You know, those shoes are apparently selling well. I know nothing about cool shoes, so they bought Okada a Lamborghini for doing great at the pay-per-view, I guess. And then they addressed Adam Copeland. And by the way, how do we not get that Lamborghini being destroyed? Maybe that'll happen next week or something. But I was half expecting somebody to show up and destroy the Lamborghini, and maybe Darby Allin or someone set it on fire or break the real glass of the Lamborghini. We didn't get that. So he just got a Lamborghini. Okay. They addressed Adam Copeland, and Matthew Jackson said that he takes blame for what happened to Copeland, because before the match, he told Adam to break a leg, which I mentioned this line on the No DQ review. You know, it's a show business line. When you wish somebody good luck, you tell them break a leg. And well, that's what Copeland did. So Matthew Jackson thinks he jinxed Adam Copeland, said he's praying for him, but he had to do what he had to do. And he destroyed he destroyed Adam Copeland's dreams, I guess. He stripped Adam Copeland of the AEW TNT championship. So the heels getting the heat there. And then they announced Jack Perry as the new TNT champion. But of course, that wasn't going to stand because we had Christopher Daniels interrupting, and he's got a brand new job. He has been appointed the interim EVP by Tony Khan, and they are not going to be giving away titles. He said Jack Perry has to earn it. There will be qualifying matches over the next few weeks, which will lead to a ladder match at Forbidden Door, with the winner becoming the new TNT champion. I like Daniels being the EVP. I think this makes sense. He's a good talker, gives him something to do. And have a babyface authority figure who isn't Tony Khan. I'm fine with that. I have no issue. And we'll see who ends up in this ladder match. Good segment here, and ladder match for the championship. I'm fine with that. I kind of thought the same thing, Andrew, that the Daniels definitely had like an Adam Pearce vibe to him, which, both guys have had history together. I mean, back in 2001, I was there ringside when it was Frankie Kazarian versus Adam Pearce versus Christopher Daniels to crown the first MPW world champion. This was in California. 2001, 23 years ago. So yeah, I thought it was a good way to utilize Daniels here. Good segment. We then had the Elite going out there to maybe attack Daniels, but then the Acclaimed showed up. So I guess they're going to fight the Elite now and lose to them, whatever. We had Roosh calling out MJF. So there you go. Roosh is apparently going to be the first victim of MJF when he returns. And then we had our main event. We had the Casino Gauntlet match. Sudden death rules. So the first person to score a pinfall or submission would be the winner of the match. So in a way, it benefits to be out there first because you have the whole match to potentially win. The match could end before all the participants get out there. The participants, we had Jay White, Pac, Mystico from CMLL, I think. I'm not even sure at this point where he's wrestling these days. But Mystico came out there and got in a lot of offense. Looked pretty impressive, although he did try to jump off the top rope at one point and he fell back into the ring and had to do it a second time. But hey, that's Mystico for you. Will Ospreay was the fourth man. He got a huge pop. I mean, the crowd was going crazy for him. And we had Shota Umino from New Japan out there. He was fifth. And then Claudio came out there, did the big swing to Will. Leo Rush from New Japan. I guess he's from New Japan these days. He was out there. Orange Cassidy, despite being attacked by Trent Beretta, he really is Superman. He had his head wrapped up. And then Hechicero, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, another luchador, came out there. And I think that was all the people in this match. It was very fast-paced. It was entertaining. Lots of action. It was never slow, never a dull moment. Juice Robinson interfered. He knocked Pac off the apron, so perhaps costing Pac the match here. Ospreay hit the hidden blade to Jay White, but then Orange Cassidy rolled up Ospreay, nearly beat him, but then Ospreay recovered, hit the Oz Cutter, and pinned Orange Cassidy, who was already in a weakened state. Will Ospreay, surprisingly, is now your number one contender for the world title. And I say that because I thought they were going to hold off Ospreay's title match for All In at Wembley Stadium. I didn't think that they would be pulling the trigger on this match so quickly. But hey, he's the hottest act in the company right now. And Yeah, we'll see if he wins the title at Forbidden Door. I mean, I suppose he could lose and try to get a rematch at All In, but we'll talk about it when we do our predictions. Forbidden Door is still almost a month away, so we got time to see where things develop in this storyline. After the match was over, Swerve came out there, got into the ring, had a little bit of a face-off with Will Ospreay, and that was Dynamite. I thought it was a good show. You know, the main event was really fun, and I think that elevated the show. There were some weak points. I liked Mercedes Moné and her stuff on the show. I thought that was good. We got the segment with Christopher Daniels. I thought that was good. And then some of the other stuff was all right. I'll go with a solid B. I think it was a good Dynamite to follow up Double or Nothing. And, you know, they got things set up for Forbidden Door. That's a positive. We got the world title match confirmed now. And we'll see where things develop over the next few weeks. They did announce MJF for next week, so we got a little bit of a cliffhanger or something to look forward to for next week. Yeah, solid Dynamite. Solid B. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, please give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. Tell a friend. Spread the word. NoDQ.com will keep you updated as we begin the next month of build for premium live events and pay-per-views. We got Forbidden Door. We got Clash at the Castle coming up in June. Stay tuned for all that. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/merch. Say yes to NoDQ, and I will see you all next time.